one.
Words.
Sorry,
Other words. Goff found Cook. Do your thing, Nick.
Xavier Rhodes got benched on this play because he kicked a flag. I'd have maybe let him stay out there. He got a little angry. He plays with passion. You know I don't mind that type of stuff.
You just don't give them 15 yards.
Well,
they needed some help.
The punishment in them giving them a touchdown.
Well, if you wouldn't got the penalty, you would have tackled him on the 15.
Yeah, that's all true.
We can argue this all day, so let's do it. Okay, now, more from Jared Goff. Rolls out, drops, and now look at that pass to Cooper Kupp. Nice touchdown.
Man, New England about to trade 2 first-round picks for him. Nobody even gonna laugh at the joke?
No, he's better. He's too good already. See, they take.
Wait, how do you think I feel every day now?
My joke, that was timely. It was a little risque.
And guess
there
what?
might have been a little racial politics there.
Nobody laughed.
Nobody laughed.
No, it wasn't funny. Moving on to, Duffy did. Paying him. Moving on to the Eagles and the Titans.
He's too busy thinking about the weekend.
Good news for Carson Wentz. He does not have to wonder how he will play in his first game back after injury. That was last week. And he played well enough to win. This week, his second start will come against the Titans, and he could get a much-needed spark if star receiver Alshon Jeffrey is able to suit up. With the Titans' defense giving up to 16.7 points per game, second best in the league, here's Carson on facing that tough Titans D.
Yeah, they're good. They're good. They fly around. A lot of veterans over there, so you can tell they're pretty smart, instinctual, adjust really well. They mix it up, very multiple fronts, multiple coverages, do some different things. So we definitely got a challenge for us.
All right, Cece, what do you want to see in this matchup?
Well, Carson Wentz made some good points about the Titans' defense. I was able to see it studying several games. And Mike Vrabel, first year there as a rookie head coach, never been a head coach before, is doing a good job. And they haven't been able to get good quarterback play. You got to watch
years now.
Yeah, you got to watch their secondary. I know Bill Belichick, smartest coach ever, but they got a cornerback named Malcolm Butler they gave a lot of money to, and he is playing good football for them. The people there, the general manager, John Robinson, former New England guy, very, very excited. They got several New England guys there. They do fly around to the ball. They get after the quarterback, very, very physical. So I believe Alshon Jeffries, this is the type of game. They play a lot of press and bump and run on the outside. Alshon Jeffries, those 50-50 balls, and be able to have a vertical threat for the Eagles. We haven't seen a consistent vertical threat since Nick Foles went on that 2-game run, NFC Championship against the Vikings and the Super Bowl against the Pats. So I look for Carson to make that next step. The game will slow down. Last week, very excited. Also, tough conditions, raining before the game and during the game. You get Jeffries back. I look for the Eagles to have their best offensive output in this game against the Titans.
I know we're talking about this game because of Carson Wentz and because of the Eagles. I'm just going to spend a moment on the Titans because they were a playoff team last year despite Mariota having an awful year. He went way backwards in year 3 from year 2. This year, they've had Blaine Gabbert start 2 games. Week 3, Mariota had to come in the game after Gabbert got hurt despite not being able to grip the football properly, and they've won 2 games in a row. Week 3, they had both their tackles out, right?
Yeah.
And they still found a way, albeit a defensive struggle, 9-6, to beat Jacksonville. We all focused on the giant upset Buffalo over Minnesota. They were 10-point dogs, and they beat Jacksonville. So the Titans' defense has been problematic for the majority of their opponents. That first game you were at was an odd game because of all the delays, but that Titans defense shut down Houston and it shut down Jacksonville. So the Eagles have their work cut out for them for an offense that statistically has struggled. But that's why I'm excited to see Carson Wentz. We saw it on that 17-play, 75-yard, I think 11-minute drive he had at the end of the game to beat the Indianapolis Colts, what he is able to do. And he had a fumble in that game. He had an interception in that game. But now that some of that rust, if not all of that rust, is gone, and he has Alshon Jeffrey back, I expect to see a fully functional Eagles team for the first time since week 13 against the Rams last year. I know they won the NFC Championship game in the Super Bowl. They didn't have their left tackle. They didn't have Wentz. That team won despite the fact it wasn't fully functional. Now it is somewhat of all systems go despite some running back injuries. I'm excited to see what this Eagles team looks like against an underrated defense.
But do we think we're going to see a little bit more of the Carson Wentz of old? Do we think it's a game under his belt, the speed back, all of the sort of getting that routine back might see
one game helps, but also when you come back after an injury like that, Odell, he gave us a little insight.
Yeah.
Told us, hey, I thought I could have, but now after seeing the film, I know I had an extra gear to go to. These are injuries. Typically, it's going to take you a year and a half to be mentally. It takes you about 8 to 9 months to be over the injury, about a year and a half to mentally be over the physical and mental things that athletes go through. But he has a better supporting cast with him, so we should see better. And if you get better weather, like you can only do so much when it's raining. So, a fumble or being a little careless with the football, those types of things, it's hard for the head coach to be aggressive when you're battling the elements and you're battling some rust of not playing.
And this is the second straight week that the Eagles are going to have such an advantage with their defensive line and their pass defense versus the other team's pass offense that it's not like Carson's in a situation where the Falcons-Saints game where you're going to have to go match scores. The Eagles, according to our friends at Pro Football Focus, have the #1 pass rush in football. That shouldn't be surprising. I know the Titans are going to have their tackles back, but they're right now at a deficit at quarterback. Like, until Marcus Mariota, A, gets fully healthy, and B, shows me that year 2 was the real Marcus Mariota, not year 3, the Titans are going to have to win running and defensive football, which Vrabel, to his credit, has gotten them to 2-1 doing.
And Rashard Matthews, their wide receiver, they spent money on from Miami. He's been there for 2 years, been their leading receiver. He called the team on Monday, said he didn't want to play football anymore. What the organization do? They obliged him. They released him. So you got a little team turmoil going there. They didn't have a whole bunch of weapons offensively, so it's going to be I'd like to see what they're going to do.
At least he didn't do it during the game.
No.
That would be some kind of weird.
Man, he's a wideout. We know, because if you quit at halftime, you might only get a half a check. I mean, we like to get paid.
Coming up, did the Vikings make a mistake signing Kirk Cousins in the offseason? That's next on First Things First.
Right, Mr. Tickles? Mr. Tickles said he works the whole day. Yeah, absolutely. The man holds the gym. Jay likes to get it in on Twitter, Instagram. Hit him up.
Don't go to that Twitter.
Yeah,
we don't know who that is.
Hit him in.
Major League Baseball on Fox. For some, Mookie Betts and the Red Sox take on Aaron Judge and the Yankees. For others, the Cardinals